Welcome to Nice and Blunt. My name is Adam Riancho, and it's time for another mock draft. Last time we did this, we had some technical issues. Hopefully, this one runs smoothly, but let's get it going. Let's go. All right, so here we are, as always, on underdog.com. This is where we do all of our mock drafts, especially given we're drafting against real people. These are real leagues. I am investing money, but I'm going to enter the little board 2 this time around. What I like about this tournament is the low buy-in, $3 entry, especially before the draft, minimal risk, and this tournament has the best return on investment odds of any you can get in on the website. The pool is 56,000, and you make it to the playoff rounds if you're a top 4 team in your 12-team league. Then you advance to a week by week playoff tournament. So a 1 in 3 chance to at least break even. Those are the best odds you'll get on this website. So I highly recommend, if you're a beginner, if you've never drafted on Underdog, or maybe if you have already and you just want to max out these entries, use this tournament while you can. I think it's probably the best intro level tournament that you can enter. And obviously, if you happen to win it, you can take home the first place prize of $15,000. So if you're looking to sign up, you can use my code Nice and Blunt, which is in the description. And you know, you'll get I'm like blanking for a sec. You'll get your first deposit matched up to $100 on sign up when you use code Nice and Blunt. So there we go. Reflect the Sun is here in the chat, and he's wondering if you can do this in Washington State. I believe so, but I'm not 100% sure. I don't know all of the states that have Underdog. Let me check for you real quick. Yeah, I'm not totally sure. I cannot recall. But I think so. I believe so. We will see. You're looking it up now. Yeah, I hope you can sign up, and hopefully, if you're interested, you can join me in this draft. Just a reminder on the rules. It's a 12-team league, 20-round draft, and it is half PPR format. Your starting lineup will have 3 wide receivers in it, 2 running backs, 1 flex, 1 tight end, 1 quarterback, excuse me, and 12 bench spots. So if you want to join this draft, you can hit the button now. I'm on a bit of a delay, so I'll hit it in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's get into a draft. There are 3 spots available, so if you want to join, you still have a little bit of time, but this thing usually fills up quickly in the tournament. Now we're down to 2 spots, and hopefully this thing gets going pretty fast. But it appears so far that the stream is doing better than last time, so that's good news. I hope so. But last time we did this, it was just like it was slow as fuck. Like everyone was timing out, and it wasn't like refreshing properly. So I actually got a pretty decent team on that one. I will pull it up, the big board. I'm pretty sure it was this one. Yeah. So we ended up with Mahomes as our QB1. We added Jared Goff a little bit later, and then I picked up Sam Darnold at the tail end of the draft. We had Pacheco as our RB1. Then we took James Conner and Dave Montgomery around the 6-7 turn. Nick Chubb fell to me in the ninth round. That, or maybe around 10. Yeah, I think it was around 10. That was crazy. And then I finished up with Jerome Ford, a little handcuff to Nick Chubb, and Ezekiel Elliott later on in the draft. My receivers there were CeeDee Lamb, Brandon Ayuk in round 2, then Chris Olave round 3. Christian Watson fell to me at the end of round 8, and then we got Cortland Sutton, 19 picks past ADP. I got a couple deals in that situation, that lagging draft, but then Ricky Pearsall, Jalen McMillan, and Kendrick Bourne to round out our receiving core, followed by Pat Freiermuth, Juwan Johnson, and Zach Ertz at the tight end position. I kind of avoided tight end for quite a while in that draft, but it looks like Washington State is not available. Dang, that's a bummer, man. I'm sorry to hear that, my friend. Wish you could join me. I feel like they'll figure that out soon. Maybe DraftKings or someone just has a stranglehold on the state or something. That's a bummer. Wish you could join me, pal. But if anybody is in the draft, let me know in the comment section. I feel like I've yet to draft with anyone in the live chat. At least this off season. But yeah, sucks. Bummer, bro. This is a good website, especially to do like your practice. Maybe early on it's a little bit risky, especially we don't know what's going to happen with the draft and everything. But you can also get some really good deals, really good values if you get lucky, if you know what you're doing, especially with rookies. There are some excellent values on the site. So we have kicked it off, and we have pick 7. So we're going to be looking at possibly Breece Hall in the thumbnail. That's not a bad start, but we're also deciding between him, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Puka Nacua. I have little exposure to Amon-Ra and Puka. I've been trying to increase it lately, and I might take Puka just for the hell of it. You might have to move, reflect this on. It's funny because when I moved last year, I was considering places to go, and I had a couple states in mind, and not that it would have been a factor. I both of them that I was considering are eligible on this website, but I was like, wait a minute, let me check, make sure I can still do the live streams when I do move. I did move to Minnesota last year, and thankfully I can still do this. But hypothetically, if I wanted to move to Iowa, I would not be able to do that. Just a few hours south was not an option. Okay, so here we are, pick 7, and St. Brown is off the board. I would love to go Bijan, but I am going to take a risk and go with Puka and hope that I can get the Rams stack of Kyren Williams coming back around to me. It's possible. I doubt it, but I still think I'll possibly get a good running back coming back around. Maybe I won't. Maybe we'll regret it, but I'm just going to go receiver. You wanted Breece Hall. I like Breece Hall a lot. I've just taken him so much. I may have signed myself up for some bad luck, given he is in the thumbnail of this video, but I'm hoping that I could possibly get Kyren Williams to fall. I think at pick 7, that's very unlikely. Kind of regret my decision, but like I was saying earlier, I need more exposure to some of these later round 1 wide receivers, and if I can get Kyren Williams, then I've noticed there's a ideal stack of Puka in round 1, Kyren in round 2, and then Cooper Kupp possibly in round 4, but Kyren goes at the turn. We did not get Kyren Williams. We're not set up for that stack, sadly. But that's a really interesting stack. I think the only way that it would work out is if Puka fell to you at like pick 11. Because I don't think he's going to make it to 12. It's very unlikely that Kyren Williams makes it past pick 15. So, nope, did not happen. A little risky with pick 7. Maybe I should have just gone with Bijan or Brees, but it's okay. Will be okay. If this guy passes on running back, though, the strategy, I think, still worked out where we get a really good running back in the second round. Because I'd much, much rather have Puka Nacua than Nico Collins, who just went off, Drake London, who went off earlier, Marvin Harrison, who went off 3 picks ago, and Devontae Adams, who would be our next best wide receiver option, along with Brandon Ayuk. I'm very comfortable with Jonathan Taylor as my RB1 as a backup option to Bijan. I have Jonathan Taylor as a top 5 running back. At worst, I think he's top 6 next season. And with the healthy Anthony Richardson, maybe he misses out on a couple rushing touchdowns, but the offense should be better than it was last season. And I think the way last year ended, it's very clear they need to give Jonathan Taylor the rock a lot more. They took him off the field on that 4th down play, and there was a drop by the backup running back that they threw it to. Taylor was a monster, and Taylor was also very injured last season. He was excellent on a per game basis. Is it with an A? Yeah, it's with an A. So Taylor last year, we all remember he started on the PUP list, missed 4 games, then had 2 games where he was easing his way in. But starting in week 7, when he was the starter, he was very effective. Yes, he did miss another 3 games, so there was really like almost half of the year where he was really ineffective. But on a per game basis, holy shit, he was very effective. He had 18 for 75 along with 45. Went over 100, 97 total yards right after that. Kind of a brutal game against Carolina, but Carolina, their defense, I mean, no, they actually had a terrible run defense now that I'm thinking about it more. Not amazing. Weeks 9 and 10 with about 60, 70 yards here. But then in week 12, 91 yards, 43 coming back off of injury, over 100 in week 17, and then he finished out the year with 196 total yards. He did have a total of 8 touchdowns in about 9 full games, relatively speaking. So on a per game basis, he was very effective. I wouldn't be shocked if that's a repeat next year. But here we are back on the clock. And most teams have running back after us. So I think I'm just going to go with Jalen Waddle. I'm just going to take Waddle. Waddle's pretty solid. I don't have much exposure to him either. And I feel comfortable with him as a wide receiver too. I expect a bit of a bounce back from Waddle in what is essentially a contract season for Tua Tagovailoa. Don't expect Tyreek to be as dominant. I mean, he's definitely going to be very dominant, but maybe not as dominant as he was last season. You wanted Laporta in the chat. You know, I took Laporta in a draft just the other day, and I kind of didn't like the rest of like my roster when it was over. I mean, it's not that he's not valuable, as you're saying, but I feel like I prefer taking him when I have Amon-Ra St. Brown and I can get the Detroit stack. I'm happier to take him in that situation rather than like reach on him. I wish he would fall to the top of the 4th, but like mid-round 3, I don't love it. He's okay, but we do have to start 3 wide receivers, and personally, my strategy, I kind of devalue the tight end position considerably. I kind of forget about it sometimes. Maybe I'm wrong to do that, but that's just my preference. It's how I kind of operate. You don't value the stacks as much as I do. In the tournaments, The stacks are much more valuable, in my opinion. Um, in regular redraft, I wouldn't say it's critical, but in the tournaments, if you want to give yourself that just minor boost in a chance to win, the stack does play a heavy factor. Like imagine if Jahmyr Gibbs, for instance, went down. They don't really have anybody else. So, okay. We could go with tight end. We could take Travis Kelce. I don't love receiver here, but I do feel very confident in James Cook's season coming up. I'm going to go James Cook. With no more Stephon Diggs, the way he closed out last season, he has a very consistent established role, and I'm not going to be upset with James Cook in the 4th round. I've taken a lot of Rachaad White and Pacheco in the 4th round. I'm going to sprinkle in a little bit of James Cook. Never played these kinds of tourneys. Yeah, it's not like you have to do the stack, but if you do somehow make it to like the final few weeks, and hypothetically speaking, the Detroit Lions are just like the best offense in the NFL, having the investment is a valuable strategy in these tournaments. The stack does factor in. So having the quarterback and the receiver and possibly a double stack with the top 2 receiving options on any given offense, if you are correct in assuming that they're going to be elite, then you're not going to regret it. You're going to have a higher odds of advancing if they are one of the best offenses at that point in time at the end of the year. So that's why I prefer taking Laporta when I have St. Brown. But he's not a terrible pick. We'll see who we get later on and poll the audience, see if Laporta would have maybe been a better decision for our tight end round 3 pick. But receivers just get so pushed up. Like if we took Laporta, we would have been looking at T. Higgins, Keenan Allen as our receiver 2. And I don't love that. Not in love with that situation. After our pick, though, we see Lamar Jackson go off, then T. Higgins, Travis Kelce stacked with Mahomes for Team 4. Very reasonable price on the Kelce Mahomes stack. Last year, you had to do it in rounds 1 and 2. You have to hope that you could get Mahomes in round 3, but now it's 4 and 5. That's ideal. We could go C.J. Stroud, falling a little bit. Amari Cooper's still on the board. Okay, I'll do it. I'll take CJ. I've seen him go mid 4th round over the last several days. And Team 6 has doubled up on elite rushing quarterbacks. Quarterback is going to come at a premium the rest of the draft. Whenever there's a team that takes 2, it does kind of behoove you to have one of the more elite options. And with that Diggs trade, you know that CJ Stroud is going to be a very valuable quarterback. Has that 40-point upside. And if he can continue some of the production from last season, he's not going to turn it over very much at all. So anywhere in round 5, I'm comfortable with CJ Stroud. Not going to regret that pick. We have 2 good running backs. We can move off that position for a while. And wide receiver is going to be a bit of our focus moving forward. We may not get the best value, but there are still some good options over the next few rounds. I also think there's some good veterans that are going undervalued later on. My Waddle pick, maybe I should have gone DK. I feel like I might prefer DK over Waddle in hindsight. Just barely. They're in the same tier, though. I would love Marquise Brown and Christian Kirk to fall to me. These next two teams have 4 wide receivers. So if they don't go receiver, I'm going to be very happy to get one of them. Might not happen, though. I really want Marquise Brown. Yes. Let's do it. I need receiver. Hell yeah. Hell fuck yes. Running backs get hurt so much. I value running backs more myself. That's the only problem, though. You could be wrong taking one that does get hurt. Or maybe, possibly 2 early on, and that really just craters your team. But I do think having 2 top 15 running backs is a good strategy because they really do fall off a cliff after like RB20. They're all kind of the same. But once you hit RB30, then it's like you're not getting any production at all. But Kincaid, if I did not get sniped, would have been my pick. But I need receiver a little bit more. So if I was deciding between Marquise Brown and Dalton Kincaid, I would have still gone Marquise Brown. But if Marquise had been sniped, I would have gone with Kincaid for sure. I do like the Bills' correlation. I mean, these are 2 of the best weapons in their offense at the moment. Definitely not a bad strategy at all. We see very few receivers go off after our Marquise Brown selection. Kamara, Ingram, Aaron Jones, George Kittle, Montgomery. That's good for us. We want receivers to fall. I'd be shocked if Brian Thomas fell. That's definitely not going to happen. But even if it's Chris Godwin we're looking at, I'm comfortable with them. These next top 4 ain't bad. Not bad at all. Yeah, Kincaid, I'm surprised, has not moved up the board following the Diggs trade. He's been consistently in the 6th round, like since they started doing any drafts on this website. And I feel like he should have moved up to the 5th round. I definitely prefer Kincaid over Kyle Pitts by a fucking mile. I don't know if I'd prefer him over Mark Andrews, but I think you can absolutely argue for Kincaid in the 5th. But if he's going to keep falling, then, not critical to invest. So we will be getting one of these receivers, at least if we want them. But it is worth considering who's there at running back. I would have taken James Conner if he was on the board, but he is not. Do I go Addison or do I go Deontay? How much do you actually trust Sam Darnold? That is the question. I will take Addison. He's fallen so much. To get him at 79, I might regret it, but he is talented. I don't know if Darnold is that atrocious. It's definitely a downgrade. But one of the things about Addison that I do think will benefit him for fantasy, I think the first 4 weeks of the year, TJ Hawkinson's not going to be there. Like, I'd be shocked if Hawkinson was on the field week 1. If anything, he might be back closer to like week 8, week 6. That is going to be one of the benefits of taking Jordan Addison. There's going to be more volume available to him because of the injury to TJ Hawkinson. So, you know me, you've seen me do it in the past. I'm not afraid to take Sam Darnold super late in the draft, and this does set us up for a bit of a stack. I have moved off of taking Addison since he was going in like the 3rd round back when Kirk Cousins was projected to still be his quarterback, but boy, he has fallen like a crater. And to compare the other receivers in this range, like to reach on Mike Williams at pick 83, I'd rather have Addison for sure. I still don't trust Bryce Young. That offense is bad. And Deontay Johnson never scores touchdowns. I don't think that's really going to change in the Panthers offense. Godwin didn't score like any fucking touchdowns last year. Addison scored 9 or 10. There's still high upside with Addison. So that was our pick. And he's fallen a full 12 picks. I should probably go with running back, but we already have 2 that I feel very confident in. Fuck it. Let's go with the breakout for JSN. I have not taken JSN much at all. This is like a huge anti-mock draft, so to speak, for me. I have very little exposure to a lot of these players. I haven't taken Taylor that much, but he fell to us 3 spots. I have barely taken Puka. We reached on him a little bit. I've almost never taken Waddle. Since Marquise Brown shot up the board, I haven't taken him. But in this tournament, because the clock resets, you're not drafting against anybody who drafted like a month ago. You're not going to be going up against another team with Marquise Brown that took him at pick like 110, as opposed to me at 66. You're going to be taking him. You're going to be going up against teams that took him around pick 60. So we're getting really good deals on our last 3 receivers. What is this? 7 picks after ADP on Marquise Brown, 9 picks after ADP on Addison, and 12 picks after ADP on JSN. I'm feeling this. I'm happy with our James Cook selection in round 4 because it freed us up to do this, and then our bet on CJ Stroud in round 5 worked out with how receiver has fallen to us since then. So I'm very happy with this team. JSN with Grubb now should get a lot more targets. Is that the offensive coordinator? I don't know who Grubb is. Ryan Grubb. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Coming from Washington, there's also a chance they draft Michael Penix. That would be dope. We still have Tyler Lockett in there, but JSN was starting to break out at the end of last season, and I wouldn't be shocked if it did happen. But okay. We do really need running back, and I've taken Zamir White several times, but I am going to continue in my pivot from what I normally do. I'm going to pass on Zamir White. It's only like 3 picks after ADP. I understand White, in your opinion, is a must here, but I literally have Zamir White at like 25% exposure. I've taken him so much. So I'm going with Zach Moss, and I'm hoping, my plan is that we can get Chase Brown on the comeback around, and we will have, no matter what, locked up the Bengals RB1. So sorry, I did not go with Zamir White, buddy. But Yeah, I just take him so much. I really have an excess volume of Zamir White. I do love him. Um, in the top 100, I think he's a good value here. Whoa, I would not go Jared Goff over Caleb Williams, but they can do what they want. They have Laporta. They want the stack. I get it. Yeah. If Zamir somehow falls to us, then I'd fucking take him for sure. But only 3 picks past ADP. That's not crazy. We took Zach Moss 3 picks above ADP. Huh. He continues to fall. Yeah, I've taken him probably like on 3 of these live streams as well. Okay, if somehow he falls to me at 114, I'm not passing on Zamir White. But I went with Zach Moss with the plan of going Chase Brown. Could he actually make it to me though? I'm hoping. I'd be surprised if he makes it 3 more picks. But Emo Cowboy's mulling it over, taking his sweet ass time. Didn't take him. Oh shit. Oh shit. Yo, passing on Zamir White worked out for us. Hell yeah. Hell yes. Wow. It fucking worked. Thank you for the good luck. Appreciate it. Hell yes. Um, but Jaws, your point about Chase Brown, very very true. He was looking very explosive at the end of the season. Really good as a pass catcher. I do think he has some upside. However, I think Zach Moss is going to be their goal line back. I think Chase Brown's still going to be more of a third down option. And I think in terms of just general durability and more of a heavy role, I do think Zach Moss is going to be a little more valuable. I do agree with the ADP of having Zach Moss a little bit over Chase Brown, but I don't hate the strategy of taking both of them at this 9-10 turn, because that way you just guarantee that you have the good production. I do think it's going to be like a 55-45 split. So I don't think it's that big of a deal. If it was full PPR, I would probably prefer Chase Brown. However, I want the touchdowns, and I think that's going to be more of Zach Moss's role um, this upcoming season in Cincinnati. I think he'll score more touchdowns. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, we got him. We got Zamir White at pick 114. That's glorious. That is a hell of a value. But remember what I told you when I took CJ Stroud? I was like, okay, because this team took 2, there's going to be a premium on quarterback. And that's what's happened. Everyone has been reaching on these quarterbacks, and we've just seen a lot of them go off. We saw Goff go like 2 rounds early, or at least like a full round early. Cousins go almost a round and a half early. I don't see why Caleb Williams fell, but you know what? Who I hate? I hate Tua Tagovailoa's value. I think Tua's gonna suck in terms of return on investment. And maybe that makes me pissed about our Jalen Waddle investment, but it is what it is. I do need a tight end. I do. And I'm going to take Dalton Schultz, who has fallen to complete our Houston stack. I would be interested in TJ Hockenson if he falls to me back around, but given Emo Cowboy does not have a tight end and has 2 picks, I'd be shocked to see that happen. So I'm just gonna guarantee the stack that we need. Having CJ Stroud, it's good to have at least one Texans pass catcher on our roster. So here's the team so far. At QB, we have CJ Stroud, who we took in the 5th round. At running back, in round 2, we got Jonathan Taylor. In round 4, we took James Cook. In round 9, we took Zach Moss. And somehow in the middle of round 10, Zamir White fell to us. That is a great value. At receiver, we took Puka, 2 picks above ADP. Then we went with Jalen Waddle in the 3rd round. We got Marquise Brown falling to us in the 6th. We got Addison in the 7th. And then JSN in the 9th. We're getting really good deals. Like, pretty much every single pick, other than Zach Moss, since round 5, has been at least 5 picks, sometimes as many as 12 past ADP. I'm liking this team a lot. Very happy with it. I'd be ecstatic if TJ Hockenson fell to us at pick 138. Can't imagine it happens. But if somehow we luck out, your boy is living. If not, we're probably going to look at the Stafford stack with Puka. But I'm feeling good that regardless of these two options, our team is loaded. We just got to get past Emo Cowboy. If Emo Cowboy does not go TJ Hockenson, we are living. This is it. This is the critical. Oh boy. Oh boy. Now T Cripe, will you snipe us? Who's his tight end? He's got Kincaid. I don't think he'll do it. I don't think so. What you gonna do? This guy's been timing out a lot. And he doesn't do it. Yo. Thank you for the good luck, man. Like, it's coming my way. The good luck is here. We're in a great spot. And to have waited on tight end until the 11th round and end up with both Schultz and Hockenson, I'm very happy. Because now we also can justify my Sam Darnold selection that I'm planning at the end of this draft. We have the Addison and Hockenson combo. If somehow, we don't want it to happen, but if somehow Jefferson gets hurt again, oh boy. Oh boy. I probably don't need a 3rd tight end with this combo as well. Probably not. But couldn't agree more. Such great value. Everyone is falling to us. Hockenson fell 13 picks. Schultz fell 9 picks. We're not going to get Stafford, unfortunately. Stafford goes off. But I don't care. I'm not upset about it. Okay, so just to remind you, our draft, we went Puka, Taylor, Waddle, Cook, CJ Stroud, Marquise Brown, Addison, JSN, Zach Moss, Zamir White, Dalton Schultz, TJ Hockenson. And we're going to need some quarterbacks soon. They are drying up fast. But because we took CJ Stroud, we're not so reliant on that position. I'm so happy with this team. So happy. After TJ Hawkinson, we see Palmer go off. I'm surprised Palmer is going after Quentin Johnson. I know they're going back to back technically, but I would much more prefer Palmer than QJ. I don't think it's close. Then Dontavian Wicks, Zach Charbonnet, Cole Kmet, Matthew Stafford, Ty Chandler, Michael Wilson, Freiermuth, Baker Mayfield. That's who I was hoping for, but I have him like crazy, so uh, not the end of the world. I might just go like 3 quarterbacks at the end of this draft. Shaheed is that big boom bust option. Interesting in this format. I do love me some Leggett, but Shaheed has fallen nearly 20 picks. We're just going to stick with getting the highest value we can. Sorry, someone just slid some envelopes under my door. I'm like, what the fuck was that? Our landlord, I guess. So yeah, we're just getting highest ADP value at this point. And Shaheed is perfect for this format because Shaheed either gives you like 20 points or like 4 points. Like Shaheed is an ideal best ball investment. And with no Michael Thomas, he's going to be cut by the team. Shaheed is their number 2 at the moment. I expect them to draft someone, but like look at some of these stat lines for Shaheed. Week 1, 5 for 89 and a touchdown, 4 for 63, then 0, 33, 28, but then 2 for 85 and a touchdown. That's fucking dope for best ball. Then 4 for 28, nothing special, but then 3 for 153 and a touchdown. Some terrible games, but then at the end of the season, 5 for 70 and a touchdown, 3 for 65 and a touchdown. He is a fucking deep threat. And we are living at the moment. Hopefully it was Mr. Beast at the door. Yeah, I'd be happy with some cash. But yeah, we're living at the moment. Fantasy dog number 6 like. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. If you're watching and you haven't liked, please do so. Subscribe as well if you're new to the channel. If you're enjoying this video, I mean, we have a stellar draft in my opinion. If you agree, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, give this video some love. Subscribe and like. Okay. So here we are coming back around. Should we go quarterback? Should we go tight end? Should we get like Michael Mayer? There's not many quarterbacks with the potential of Deshaun Watson remaining. And while he was kind of trash last year, let's hope he stays healthy. We need another quarterback. He's falling a little bit past ADP, 7 picks. Let's go Deshaun Watson. Let's go with Deshaun Watson. We already have 2 viable tight ends. We need quarterback. I was contemplating Mayer for sure, but I'm going to feel better about my Minnesota Vikings quarterback investment, knowing that I have someone that is going to put up some top 20 weeks. I've ignored quarterback for a long time in this draft. And while we're not done, I don't have much Watson, and not. It's worth taking a shot on him. Wan'Dale could be a breakout until they get a quarterback. I'm not trying to draft any Giants receivers. He was somewhat okay from a volume standpoint, but I took him a lot last year, and I learned my lesson. I'm not trying to invest too much in the Giants receiving core. He was getting a lot of targets at the end, but still like nothing that was like really productive. Only one touchdown on the season. I can't really talk myself into it unless he falls dramatically. So I'm not going to reach on him, but you can't see Darnold starting. I absolutely can. I think that's the only reason they brought him in. He's going to be the starter for at least two months. I don't think if they're going with May or McCarthy, and it's most likely McCarthy, that either of them are ready to start day one. I think both of them are more projects. And Darnold coming out of the um, Niners system, learning some stuff from Kyle Shanahan. He looked somewhat decent in that game against Baltimore when Purdy sat. I don't think Darnold is bad at all, but I do like to invest in both McCarthy and Darnold um, when I'm like needing him, because that way I like kind of lock up the Vikings quarterback situation. But we're not going to take McCarthy here, that's for sure. Okay. I think Zay Jones is a really good value, at least at the moment. I don't see him that much different than Gabe Davis, to be honest with you. I'm going to go Zay Jones. Thought about maybe Carr and like a Juwan Johnson combo, since we do have Shaheed, but we don't have Olave, so it's not crazy. But is Demarcus Robinson still there? Since I have Puka, he's at the end. He's really low on the list. He's 212. I can wait on Demarcus Robinson. If I had Stafford, I'd be a little more interested in him, but it's not a bad investment. Okay, Juwan is off. I might be looking at like Noah Fant. I do like Noah Fant. A lot of the snap competition for him, like Will Dissly and Colby Parkinson, are no longer on Seattle. They are going to be far more invested in Noah Fant moving forward. Way, way more. So I'm not afraid to reach on him. Okay, we got 5 more rounds. We're going to need another quarterback, at least one, probably another tight end, 2 running backs, 1 wide receiver. That's going to be our strategy. We're going to have a 3-6-8-3 build with this team. It sounds like y'all want Carr. Fant goes. Juwan Johnson is already off the board. So if he's available, you know what? You've been here with the stream the entire time. I'm gonna do you a solid, man. I'm gonna take Derek Carr. A little bit past ADP as well. We do have Shaheed. We did not get Juwan, but with a little bit of risk involved with Watson, it's good to take the floor of Carr. He does have some decent games as well. So we went with Carr. Wasn't he a top 15 quarterback last year in points? I don't believe so. I think he did have some good games. He was a very good floor play, but he was closer like QB 20. The only reason he may have been higher than that is because all those quarterbacks that got hurt, like there were so many quarterbacks that got hurt that I wouldn't project to miss anywhere near as much time next season. Like Kyler missed a ton of time, Burrow missed a ton of time, Herbert missed a ton of time. Like if he finished that late, it's because of all the guys that missed so much of the season. Like Watson missed a ton of time. Um, who else? Rodgers obviously missed some time. I feel like I'm forgetting someone. Oh yeah, Anthony Richardson missed almost the entire year. So, um, yeah, on a per game basis, he's more like QB 2022, especially because of Taysom Hill's role and why Taysom really kind of craters some of his value and usage in the red zone, especially. But he's very safe. He's gonna lock up 15, 16 points for us every single week, pretty much. So from a floor standpoint, I don't I'm not upset about that at all. And we got Shaheed. That's a good pick. But we're gonna need to get back into the running back game very soon. I want two more to close out this draft. And we're kind of running out of steam here. Who is Taylor's backup? Behind Jonathan Taylor, there's Trey Sermon, Evan Hull, and Tyler Goodson. So we may take a guy like Trey Sermon super, super late. But no matter what, we're looking at backups. The thing about Foreman, I was all in on Foreman a month or so ago, and then he signed with Cleveland, and he's the third stringer. I'm not happy about. Damn, I wanted Zeke. Shit, I wanted Zeke. Um, fuck. I'll just take Okonkwo. I'll take a guy like Okonkwo. Not going to be upset with Okonkwo. I know they added Ridley, but he's still somewhat involved. And the coach, who was the previous offensive coordinator in Cincinnati, used the tight end position a lot last year, especially with Jake Browning under center. So I do think Levis had a decent connection with Okonkwo, and I don't think there are that many tight ends moving forward that can really compare with Okonkwo. So he's our tight end 3. We just finished up with that position. We have 3 quarterbacks as well. We're looking at running back and wide receiver. And we could go Demarcus Robinson to complement our Puka Nacua investment. But I don't have a single rookie on this team. So if Jalen McMillan is there, I'm a big fan of Jalen McMillan. Carr was 16th in your PPR league, just 2 points behind Stafford. Yeah, I think that's just because of all the injuries at the position. I think he's closer to like QB 20, QB 22. There were just so many better quarterbacks that outperformed him. I feel like the Rams added somebody else at receiver, but I am incorrect about that. Demarcus Robinson is their third stringer. And he goes off the board. Gets taken. So that's not who we're drafting. I do like these two rookies in McMillan and Washington. I actually have Malik Washington projected to be drafted at pick 99 by the Rams. We'll see if that happens. We do get sniped on McMillan. But there's not that many rookies left that I'm like dying to take. Damn it, we get sniped. Okay. At this point, I might have to just go Miles Sanders. I don't want to take him, but we knew we were going to take one more running back. Fuck it. Give me Miles Sanders. Not happy about it, but it's fine. Maybe Chuba Hubbard goes down. Sanders has a few weeks of viability. But he also fell to us by 17 spots. So at the end of the draft here, it's kind of irrelevant. I would never brag about a player falling at this stage in the draft, but it is a round and a half. It's not like it's bad value, but he's most likely, yeah, as you say, washed and irrelevant. He was bad, but their offense is going to be better. We're at this point, if you're drafting anyone, it's a backup, and you're just hoping that the starter gets hurt. That's really all these investments are at running back this late. Like, with the exception of maybe Zeke, who could land in Dallas. Like, that's the only reason you'd want AJ Dillon. That's the only reason you'd want Madison. Maybe Madison has a little bit more of a role, but you kind of have a bit more of a path to success with the rookies, perhaps. But yeah, definitely a tough position. I needed running back. Like, at this late in the game, we're not really grabbing heavy contributors to our team. But we need one more running back. We need one more wide receiver. And we're looking at nothing but handcuffs already. So that's what's on the board for us. I'm going to be highly coveting CEH. And then we have a Saints quarterback, a Cleveland quarterback, and a Houston quarterback. So yeah, maybe Noah Brown is someone to consider, but now he's the fourth stringer. Not super looking forward to it. Josh Reynolds signs in Denver, but we don't know what their quarterback situation is going to be, so maybe not. I don't have any Bengals investments, but Yoshivas is kind of interesting. However, I feel like someone that gets overlooked is Charlie Jones. And if you compare these two sophomores in Cincinnati, Charlie Jones was drafted in the 4th round, whereas Yoshivas was drafted in the 7th round. Oh, 6th round, excuse me. Yoshivas was drafted round 6. So there is more of an investment in Charlie Jones. But we're going to go with CEH here because he has re-signed in Kansas City. And at the moment, he's the RB2. And when he was filling in for Pacheco, he was somewhat productive. At the moment, they do not have McKinnon back on the roster. So CEH does have a path to a few weeks of fantasy success. We are taking CEH as our RB6. In the same vein as Miles Sanders, we're hoping that he gets a few weeks of game action. But based on who we have at the position, we're not really counting on them very much. We already have Taylor, we already have James Cook, we already have Zach Moss, and Zamir White, 4 starters that I'm much more confident in. So that's 19 rounds. Let's remind you of our team at the moment. We have CJ Stroud at QB, Deshaun Watson, Derek Carr. We took these backups a little bit later, and we could go Darnold possibly still. We could still go Darnold, but I think taking a receiver is a little bit more valuable. And someone has to replace Tyler Boyd. It's also possible that they do trade T. Higgins. I really doubt that happens, but it's possible. And there's very, very few receivers left on the board that I'm like actually interested in. Michael Thomas is interesting, but he's not going to be in New Orleans. He's going to be cut after June 1st, and we'll see where he goes. But yeah, there's really rough options this late. Goat Mode asking, what are my thoughts on Josh Reynolds? I feel like at the moment he is in competition with Marvin Mims as the wide receiver 2 in Denver. They might draft another receiver in round 3. I'd kind of doubt it though, but I think him and Tim Patrick are sort of vying for that role. The thing is, we've never seen Josh Reynolds have any success without Jared Goff. When he played in Tennessee, he was atrocious. And I know there's Sean Payton there, but it's not like the offense is going to be really that good next year. So, yeah, I'm not like dying to draft Josh Reynolds. You can take him randomly here or there, but it's not crazy. You really want me to go Noah Brown here, don't you? I don't want to take him, man. I just don't. I want to take someone who's a lot less invested in these tournaments. Because Noah Brown is going drafted, so there's a lot of other teams that have him, and I just don't think he's that value. I'm gonna go with Charlie Jones. I'm gonna take a player that I like because here's Yoshivas, 6'3", 205, runs a 4.43, drafted in the 6th round. Meanwhile, here is Charlie Jones, also runs a 4.43, 5'11", 175, more of a slot receiver, and that is what we need to fill in for Tyler Boyd. So, because they drafted him earlier than Yoshivas, I'm gonna hope and pray that he is their slot receiver. And the fact that almost nobody ever takes him means that we have a player who's very underutilized in the tournament settings. Just gonna take a shot. Let's hope for the best. But he was their punt returner last season. So, no, not that one. Just to remind you, our team. We have CJ Stroud, Deshaun Watson, Derek Carr, Jonathan Taylor, James Cook, Zach Moss, Zamir White, Miles Sanders, and CEH. At receiver, we have Puka Nacua, Jalen Waddle, Marquise Brown, Jordan Addison, JSN, Rashid Shaheed, Zay Jones, Charlie Jones, and then at tight end, Dalton Schultz, TJ Hawkinson, Chig Okonkwo. So that's going to be it for this video. If you enjoyed, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for all of our videos. And I hope you enjoyed this live stream. I sure did. Had a lot of fun. Feel really good about the team. A lot of values. Super late. Like, oh boy, that stretch of James Cook through pretty much Zamir White. Like, everyone in that range that we got was like super, super valuable. Good ADP value. And I'm ecstatic about this roster. So have a good one. Hit that subscribe button for me if you haven't already. And I will see you next time. Hope you have a great day, great week. My name is Adam Riancho. Thank you for watching. Nice and blunt.